driving towards the county line. Grab a cooler full of beer from Joe's place before last call. I got old Hank cranking on the radio. I got my piece underneath my seat, that's how we roll. I'm jacked way up mudding with the tailgates down. Girl is sitting shotgun looking all pretty, sipping that cup of Tennessee whiskey.
What's up, everybody? Just to add to my rant, I guess. As I was going through my news again, I only saw one article on it, which I'm pretty sure I know why. You know, the liberal Democratic dumb fucks aren't really talking about it. But one of their Democratic senators, going to court for bribery and a few other charges. But you don't see that much in the news. I haven't seen an article from CNN. Now there may be, I just haven't seen it. They're not really addressing it as much, you know, as they do, you know, the First Lady's stilettos. You know, but you know, that's how fake news is. The Clinton Network and all the other ones. But most importantly, what I want to say is I've got friends and family in Florida, and y'all are finna get rocked. I mean, I'm reading where that hurricane is actually setting off earthquake sensors. That's how strong it is. Now, I know it's hard for people to just get up and move. I know it's hard for someone just to leave, maybe financially or lack of transportation or whatnot. But if there is any way possible you could get out, I would leave. I mean, I would leave, because there's another hurricane coming right behind it. You know, everybody here at Fat Boys is praying for Florida. We're praying for the people in Texas. Our heart and prayers go out to everybody in Texas, Florida, and everybody going to be affected by this hurricane. I mean, it's going to affect a lot of people. Well, that's it from me on this rant. But I will say this. Next rant is going to be about our little guy here in Texas. Oh, Corker. I can guarantee you that he will not have my vote. He's been a little anti-Trump lately, almost on everything. So I'm gonna get into that on my next rant, which I may do here in a little while. Who knows? Take care. So this week, there's been a lot of news. I've done a lot of recordings to see how it should be said and what should be said about it, and you know, it comes to a point where there's just so much bad news, it's hard to report it all. You know, I mean, unfortunately, people are still feeling the hits of hurricanes. I mean, Florida's about to get devastated. Florida is about to get rocked. I mean, they said that Irma is setting off Richter scales for earthquakes. I mean, it's crazy. Speaking of earthquakes, Mexico just got hit hard with like an 8.1. This is crazy. It's like their strongest one in a century, I think I read. And it's unfortunate. But my whole thing is, and everyone knows I'm a Trump supporter. Voted for him. I love a lot of his ideas. I don't love a lot of his Twitter, Reddit, or whatever, but I like him. My big complaint as of right now is, why haven't we taken out North Korea? I'm sick of reading about it. I'm sick of reading that he's still, that little fat fuck is over still running his mouth. He's still, now, he did another, nuclear test or hydrogen bomb test. My God. I read that the mountain that he's been testing on, or like under the ground, is about to collapse. The mountain itself is. When does it end? Now they're seeking to get rid of his assets, to freeze his assets. And South Korea says Saturday, tomorrow. Today's Friday. All right, they're saying tomorrow he's launching it. It's a big celebration over there or something. How many more indicators do we need to have to get rid of this son of a bitch? I'm not saying we need to instantly jump to war when someone runs their mouth, but it comes to a point where the people of the United States could be endangered, because the last administration, for 8 years, let this guy build up to this. They didn't stop him from the beginning. There's something where we've all learned, from kids to adults. When we went to school, there was always that one bully, that one fucker that always messed with us. And it comes a time where words and telling the teacher, telling the principal, when your parents stepping in, just doesn't cut it. There may be small little factors where, people laugh at me if I tell my mom. No, I ain't talking about those little factors. I'm talking about that bully just keeps coming and coming and coming. And it comes to a point when you gotta throw some hands. And you gotta step up and you stop them. My kids are taught that. Period. They go through all the steps. They tell the teacher. Teacher doesn't do anything. They tell me. They tell me, the teacher. Nothing's done, then they need to handle it. I got $2 on a boy. And my kids have been taught to handle their business. Everywhere from joint lots to joint breaks. Hey, bullies have to be handled. And for all these pacifist motherfuckers who want to say, well, you can't handle violence with violence. Bullshit. Let me give you an example. Marines, Navy SEALs, Delta Force, whatever they need to do, enters North Korea. Kim dead. Regime falls. Violence took care of that violence. And yes, there will always be another. We've learned throughout the years that when people are as cartoony as that motherfucker, he always wants to be evil. But the good guys always win. Something that we haven't had in years is the confidence. The confidence to stand strong once again. We have that now. And it's crazy that we haven't stopped North Korea yet. Why should it even have got to this point? I think that we should have stopped this years ago. But of course, we back then, we had a president with no backbone. We had none. He wanted to defend Muslims and give weapons to Muslims and Muslim terrorists now have killed millions because of him. So he helped them instead of helping his country. Now we have this little fat fuck over there, Kim Jong, whatever his name is, who's threatening us, America, the red, white, and blue. Man, fuck that. When you take his ass out, when you let them do whatever they need to do once he's gone, and we need to set an example, and he needs to be that example, that we are the United States of America once again. That we will not be held down by simple idle threats. We are the red, white, and blue. And it's time that we show the world that we're back. That we don't fear a dictator like him. We need to take his ass out. Too many threats. He has too many capabilities at this point. There comes a time when you have to deal with a bully where talking is not enough. Where you just got to throw some hands. And that's what we need to do. Or a few mother bombs. So I wanted to get some thoughts on some stuff that's been happening in Tennessee that I've noticed. There's a theater in Tennessee that's wanting to stop Gone with the Wind because it offends people. I mean, the sad part about this is the people that it's offending are upset because of the way that a great actress was portrayed in the movie. But facts doesn't mean anything to domestic terrorist groups, so it's okay. Something else that kind of ticks me off is Bob Corker seems to be wanting to butt heads with Trump, but last time I checked, a lot of Tennessee people voted for Trump. I was one of them. Now, with that being said, does he put some stupid shit on Twitter? Sometimes. But he's also being attacked from the media with a lot of fake news, and it's a lot of, he's just got, the only truthful article I saw on CNN the other day was that Merriweather won the fight. That's it. CNN is just, it's become hysterical now. Literally, I've turned to it for a comic relief. So, there's that. But then you have these things going on in Tennessee where they're giving up. They're giving in to this whole erase the history and things of that nature. And what saddens me is why people would be wanting to do that. History is history. We learned from it. There was definitely mistakes in history. Should there have been slaves? Fuck no. But we learned from it. Unfortunately, on the backs of a lot of people. Blacks shouldn't have owned blacks. Whites shouldn't have owned blacks. Whites shouldn't have owned Indians. Indians shouldn't have owned whites. Indians shouldn't have owned blacks. That's it. It shouldn't have been done. We know that because of history. History is what has formed us. Does that mean it's formed us to be good or bad? No, we choose. We choose and we learn from history, and we mold our being based off of what history, based off of what we learn from history. It's crazy. And not to mention, right now I'm driving into Brownsville, Tennessee, like 30 minutes down the road from Jackson. And it's like, I have to come in this town armed because, I mean, there's crime like every 10 minutes. There's all the time people's getting shot. So, I mean, here in Tennessee, I want my state to be better than what it is. And I think everybody wants that. Everybody wants that for their state. And if everybody wants that, then let's try to make that happen. You know, there's great parts to Tennessee. But if we have Corker going against his people, I mean, we voted for Trump. So him going against Trump, to me, seems like he's going against his people. I know if he keeps it up, I won't be voting for him. And I hope no one else will. Not in Tennessee anyway. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Now about the whole theater, I think honestly, you know, they had an excuse or a reason. I'm not sure which. Basically, only about 1,400 people, you know, come to see Gone with the Wind or whatever. But still, those 1,400 people deserve to see it. I mean, it's their business. They get to choose what they want to do. But is it to the point where they're giving in to all the pansies who have their feelings hurt? Boo fucking boo. You know, the funny thing about it is, my grandmother picked cotton. I remember her telling me the stories of me cringing when I was little about how her fingers would bleed from picking cotton. I don't know anything about that because society has advanced. But I remember the stories of her telling me this. And then I remember going to school about these teachers. And I remember one in particular in social studies, Mr. Sorrell or whatever, who was completely racist against whites. He literally would give the same story. And I was like, oh, my grandmother did that. And he gave me the look. He was like, no, she didn't. My grandmother didn't lie. You know, she didn't make up stuff like that. And the story and the details she gave was just too in detail to be a lie. She picked cotton, but she never thought that anything was supposed to be given to her. She never thought that the world owed her something. Now, it's sad what happened. It's pathetic what happened. But I don't see why everybody thinks they should get a handout because they're passed. I'm part Blackfoot.
In a quarter mile, continue straight onto East Main Street.
Yes. I'm part Blackfoot Indian. I've looked back and some of my ancestors were slaves. I don't need a handout. It comes to a point where we have to remember that we change the world. That we could change the world. That the only three colors we are red, white, and blue. Take it easy. So I was looking through Facebook and I saw that a local theater had posted that they were getting rid of the classic movie Gone with the Wind because apparently it hurt people's feelings. Who's fucking who? You know, I really don't. I really don't know what to say. I mean, I watched the movie with my grandmother when I was little. I don't remember anything about the movie. I don't remember liking the movie. But I don't remember hating it. So, I mean, apparently they said that their crowd had diminished to about 1,400 people. But for the sake of not hurting people's feelings, they were going to get rid of it at the Orpheum Theater or whatever. And I could somewhat understand that to a point. But if that's the case, then don't throw in this whole it hurts people's feelings, so we need to get rid of it kind of thing. It's stupid. It doesn't need to be. It's retarded. I mean, I don't give a fuck if I hurt someone's feelings that I don't know, because I'm a very blunt person. The world is blunt. We should be blunt, I feel. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Because